Hey everyone, I'm Artosis, and I have another great replay here from our favorite Zerg, EG IdrA. It is once again a little replay he gave to me, so thank you, IdrA. And he's going to go up against, well, you might not be able to read Korean, but that says TSLClide. So it is going to be one of my favorite Terran players. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and say pretty much my favorite Terran player, even though Jinro and Nada are very far up there as well. Clide, an absolutely astounding Terran. This guy used to be the best Terran in the world, even though he never won anything. And nowadays, just one of the best Terrans. He is in Code S, of course. EGIdrA recently played him in the GSL. In case you don't watch the GSL, check out gomtv.net. Really great tournament going on in South Korea that Tasteless and I commentate. Anyways, EGIdrA recently did beat him in that tournament. It was best of one. And here we go. We have another best of one, this time on the ladder. So I'm pretty excited to see how this game turns out. Of course, Scrap Station, it can be a very fun map. It's very different and dynamic. It takes a long rush distance to actually attack someone if you look here. Look at that. Very long rush distance. But you can really shorten that up, and this area is very strong if you do a turret tank marine push through it. Really utilize this area. You can do a very good job against Zerg. But, you know, if you're doing something like that, of course, Zerg can take a gold base, maybe expand down here, and it's going to be hard for Terran to attack. So there's a lot of interesting ways that this map can actually be played. You can play it through the center, you can play it down the side, all sorts of interesting, awesome ways. So really, definitely a good map. Now, notice EGIdrA has gone hatchery first. Very common on this map for Zerg vs Terran. It's just such a long rush distance. 2 barracks play is not all that good here unless you proxy them, in which case it becomes a risky all-in. Clide, on the other hand, looks like he's going to be going for a 1 barracks expansion. We should be seeing the orbital go up. Notice he has this here, so he can put 3 barracks to actually wall in this area. It's a very solid and safe wall in. And there we go. He is, in fact, going to go ahead and go for a very fast expand. If you look, not very far behind the hatchery, really. So his economy is going to catch up and do quite a good job. Now, EGIdrA taking his gas, probably going to get speed relatively soon. You normally want speed on this map, especially if you're EGIdrA. EGIdrA loves Mutalisk, Baneling, and Speedling, of course. Now, what will Clide do? Will he add more barracks or add a bunch of gases? That is the question. And he will, in fact, add a couple gases. Now, you'll notice that in Terran vs Zerg, after Terran expands, they can either add a bunch of barracks and get a ridiculous amount of units, or they can add a double gas. But why don't they ever add a single gas, you may be asking? Well, if you add single gas, it takes forever to actually tech anything. If you go 1 gas early in the game, it's a gradual build-up with your minerals. Right now, you're going to have a ton of minerals, but you won't have any gas if you don't get double gas. So you kind of have to do that if you actually want to get any tech going. 1 gas is pretty worthless after that fast expansion against Zerg. Now, EGIdrA, going to go ahead and lay a very fast creep tumor. Very good. You want to do this, especially when you get 2 queens right off. Otherwise, you're going to have... If you only larva inject, you don't really have enough minerals to spend it all right away. And you build up a little bit of larva, and when you start building up larva, normal larva don't spawn out, and it just doesn't go as well. You definitely want that quick creep tumor. Connect these 2 areas by creep, get the front, have some creep in it. It's just a very good move overall. Now notice Clide, not walling in yet, instead teching a lot faster. Should wall in right about now. Yeah, being very safe with that. Notice speed not even half done, so this was pretty safe. Overall, you're not going to see EGIdrA attack with a bunch of slow Zerglings. That wouldn't make any sense. And Clide teching up pretty quickly here. Now, we see EGIdrA just droning up. Doesn't have a lot of Zerglings yet, just 6. Pretty reasonable with hatchery first. Normally you do make 6 or 8 to hold off any early aggression because they are slow Zerglings at that point. You're a little bit, you know, defenseless. Now, notice Clide, very strong, tight wall in. Teching straight up to his starport. And, well, looks like he's going to get some upgrades going. Very excited to see what way Clide wants to play this map, whether he's going to go down the side of the map, or, ooh, I think we already can tell, because notice the reactor. That means that he's going to be switching that with the starport. Normally you won't see Hellions made at this point in the game, kind of a silly thing to make. So we're going to see a lot of medevacs go with his Marines, and perhaps some Marauders. So I think we're going to see Clide with a pretty aggressive mobile force. Will he go through the center? Hard to say. Normally you see Terran players go through the center with siege tanks as well. Of course, that's going to help in any situation, but you can't spread Marines well in here. You can retreat them back through siege tanks very well, though, so that's normally why it's like that. You want more wide open space to use Marines and medevacs if you don't have siege tank backup, so you can actually, you know, spread them all over the place so the banelings don't hit as many. Notice EGIdra scouting the island. Smart move. Just some well-placed overlords overall. And going to throw down that spire in the very corner. You know, a lot of times Zerg players put their tech right over here, so sometimes you have the scan centered about here to try to check anything over here and over here. So you got to mix up where you actually put down your spire. Try to hide it a little bit more so they don't really know. You know, Clide's going to know because EGIdra basically goes mute every game, but, you know, you don't really know. So we see Clide getting ready for some medevacs. In fact, has 2 of them loaded up, and this could be quite deadly. There are a lot of speedlings, though, and overcomes Queen as well. And it looks like EGIdra going to go ahead and target the medevac with his Queens. That's a very smart thing to do. And there's going to be some Queens left over, some Marines left over, but a lot of Zerglings are popping out. Notice EGIdra did get a medevac. Very nice. You want to do it that way. The Queens don't actually help all that much against the Marines, but hitting the medevacs down can be huge. It can help a lot later game when you're actually trying to kill those off with mutalisks as well. It makes it so that there is a limited amount of time those medevacs can be around while the Queens still are alive. So it's just a very good move. Now notice EGIdra taking his gold base right away. Has a lot of Zerglings out because of that attack. Clide trying to do some more harassment. Good place to put down this harassment. And he's going to take out this Overlord. No, he's not. 5 hit points on that Overlord. Very nice. Does get away. +1 going for EGIdra. A lot of mutas being made as well. Clide's going to have to be very careful. Does take out that Overlord. He's going to want to get out of here because there's a lot of mutalisks about to hatch. And take out that creep tumor. It's always annoying for a Zerg. Now, let's take a look. Do we have an engineering bay? We do, in fact. Good timing on those missile turrets as the mutalisks are popping out. And it looks like he wants to harass this gold base, but doesn't look like he'll be able to stop that. EGIdra has plenty of units on the way. A lot of mutalisks as well. And Clide looks like he's going to lose this medevac and these Marines as the mutalisks gather up and the Zerglings make the Marines stop. And dropping this up here. Perfect move by Clide. That's the best he could have done, so the Zerglings don't just automatically kill the Marines. At least deal a little bit of damage to the mutas. Now, Baneling Nest as well as Evolution Chamber. Very nice. You might wonder, why don't you get quicker Baneling Nest and quicker Baneling Speed? Well, he should have had a Baneling Nest already, but the Baneling Speed in this situation, where your opponent is going for a very quick command center, but then dropship tech, Baneling Speed is going to be quite as important. It's more important for the quick Marine Marauder stim timing attacks after an expand. Now notice Clide going down this way. EGIdra doing some good harassment, taking out some supply depots. Clide definitely wants to take out this gold base, so it's going to be pretty risky. If EGIdra catches wind of that, his Mutalisk and Zergling army should be able to take out pretty easily. The numbers of Marines in that dropship should not be able to actually take out what EGIdra has, EGIdra's whole army, which is going to be very mobile at this point. Let's take a look at the supplies. 119 for EGIdra, 99 for Clide. Clide going to drop these out. He may, in fact, be able to snipe the hatchery, but he will probably end up losing all those units. Now, EGIdra's mutas are pretty far away. Here come the Marines! And EGIdra sees it very, very quickly because he is controlling the Selnaga Watchtower. And here come his Zerglings. Now, will Clide... Oh, looks like he's just going to target all that down. Load up. He might want to just drop off right here immediately because here come the mutas. And this just did not go well. Oh, poor Clide. Would have been better. Well, nothing... There was actually no way out of that. He was going to lose all that without really killing anything anyways. The Zerglings did a ton of damage to the Marines while they took down the hatch, but he did, in fact, take down the hatchery. Thing is, he's lost a lot of units. You look at the supply, 106 to 132, with EGIdra in the lead there. EGIdra getting his Baneling Speed, staying on his layer tech. Let's see what he's making. A lot of mutas, getting that +1 carapace. And, well... EGIdra just going to go ahead and re-expand. Clide, what are you going to do, though? Clide right now should go into defensive mode and try to macro. That is absolutely what he should do. If he tries another timing push, that's probably not a good idea because he just sacrificed so many Marines. Oh my. EGIdra doing a ton of damage with this huge group of mutants. I'll explain that in a minute again, but taking out that barracks, a very nice move indeed. And taking out some siege tanks. That is going to be huge. Clide does not have all that many siege tanks. Did not make a lot because he was spending so much gas earlier on his medevacs. Ooh, saving that at the last second. Anyways, Clide attacking now would be terrible because he lost a lot of units to hurt EGIdRA's economy. So he's down on units compared to EGIdRA, but there's similar economy. So where do you go? You macro up to try to catch up on units, and you try to expand because you know he's going to be expanding to his third base once again. So that would be the best thing Clide could do in this situation. In fact, he knows that. He is making that command center now with good timing. He is the Thor out now to help stop that Mutalisk ball. Has a second tech lab. Going to make a lot of siege tanks and marines at this point because that's basically what he has to do. Also getting the +1 attack to help his siege tanks and Thors out against those Mutas, Banelings, and Zerglings. Now EGIdRA taking this additional base. It's going to be his fourth. He's up to 170 against 130 supply of Clide, so pretty close game still here. And EGIdRA already has his +1 carapace. Not teching to Hive yet. You know, late Hive is pretty much in style right now in all the Zerg matchups. And Clide going for another little attack. This one's going to be more focused on killing drones. It's going to damage the hatch somebody. He's going to lose a lot of units here. Ooh, I don't know if I like this completely. You know, that can be quite annoying for a Zerg sometimes, but when Zerg has this much creep out and they are controlling Zelnok watchtowers, have a decent Overlord spread as well, he's going to know when those drops are coming pretty quickly. They aren't going to do a lot of damage, and the thing is, Clide loses 8 Marines. You know, it's minerals, it's not quite as important, but he also loses that very important medevac. So EGIdRA looks like he's going to go up here and harass only 3 turrets. He's going to be able to get through here pretty easily. And, yeah, goodbye, turrets. Here come Clide Marines, and EGIdRA does have to leave, but now there's no missile turrets. Clide has to remake them. Notice he's going to make a ton of them, and no upgrades for his turrets yet. You know, we never really see people upgrade turrets. Might be a good idea, though. I'm not really sure. We haven't seen it too much. Now, notice this. This is actually beautiful by Clide. Making little areas, little defensive areas with turrets, little kind of outpost type things. And EGIdRA just going to run in here. Let's see if this is going to work out. He's going to try to magic box those Thors quite a bit, but the Banelings come in and do the damage to the Marines. And in fact, he has so many Mutalisks that he's going to take out everything. Beautiful Banelings as well. Now the missile turrets do finish up. That's going to definitely help to get rid of those Mutas. Clide doing a great job, though, deciding to counterattack immediately. Perfect decision here. Will he have enough? EGIdRA with a ton of Mutalisks, and with those Zerglings coming in as well. Clide's army, oh, barely gets through, but the Banelings are going to finish, and Clide's going to lose everything. Oh, no, he doesn't. Micro's back. Beautiful moves here by Clide. And EGIdRA loses a huge Mutalisk count, but Clide at the same time lost a lot of Siege Tanks, a lot of Thors. Very exciting game right now. 131 supply for EGIdRA, 110 for Clide. Clide just pushing through here. Good sensor tower to try to watch for any additional harassment. Thing is, his economy is pretty much gone. Notice that he's just got a few Marines mining back here. He's going to have to send his Marines up his SCV's mining, sending some more up as well. He's got to be careful, though. EGIdRA coming back with some more Banelings. Siege Tank going down, and now these Banelings are going to do really big damage. In fact, Clide, even though mules are going to be very important right now, there is a possibility that he will want to make a planetary. In fact, before I can even finish saying it, Clide, my main man of Terran, makes that planetary, realizing, uh-oh, I don't have a lot of siege tanks. I need something back here to help against Zerglings and Banelings. He already has the missile turrets, so good choice there by Clide as he tries to recover his economy. Now, the thing is that they were just trading a lot of armies, but Clide's economy was a little bit behind. His third base was a bit late. And goodbye, Viking. That was not a very useful Viking. But his third base was a bit late, so EGIdRA now pulling ahead a little bit. He does have the gold, which is really catching him up. Also, of course, he's producing a ton of drones, or he did. And so his economy is actually insane compared to Clide's. Look at that. 2100-ish against 1600-ish. So EGIdRA going to have a superior economy, even though Clide has a lot of workers, a lot of mules popping out as well. Now, Clide pushing down a little bit. He's got to be very careful at this point. If the Mutalisk count gets too big, EGIdRA, of course, can always go up and hit the main base. You know, these are not well-defended areas at all. The only reason he's not up there right now is just so he can rebuild his Zerglings and Banelings enough that a counterattack wouldn't kill EGIdRA's expansions. Thing is, yeah, you can go up here, kill a bunch of depots and really hurt Terran, but if he can kill your expansions at the same time, he's going to be well ahead. Now EGIdRA has a good amount of Mutalisks, good amount of Zerglings and Banelings. His supply is really skyrocketing, 186, almost maxing out here. Clide at 140. Good upgrades on Clide. He does have 2-2, +1 to his siege tanks. EGIdrA, on the other hand, +2 carapace to Zerglings, +1 attack to the Mulus. He normally does end up stopping there. Greater Spire finishing up. Very interesting. Does he have some Corruptors on the way? Does he have any Corruptors? He does have a few Corruptors floating around somewhere. There they are. I guess they popped out of the gold base. He's going to want to make those into Broodlords, and that is actually going to be huge. That's going to make Siege Shanks basically unsiege. That's the beauty of the Broodlord. The Broodlings come down, the Siege Shanks splash. Of course, hurts anything the Broodlings are attacking, so you have to unsiege, and that makes it so the Banelings can roll in. It's a beautiful combination, Baneling, Broodlord. Looks like Clide wants to do a drop. This is an interesting time to drop because obviously it's going to die immediately. Is he going to combo that with a push forward? We're going to have to see, especially when EGIdrA sees it right away. Here comes his Zerglings and his Mutalisks. Clide starting to push up a little bit. It is buying him some time up here, and he decides it is time to go up and try to kill these Banelings. In the meantime, these Marines are going to be taken out very, very easily. One Broodlord taking some decent damage, but that did not turn out to be that good for Clide, really. Now notice Clide has to unsiege as these Broodlings come in. Very, very annoying for Clide. He looks like he's going to try to get away from those Broodlords and attack down here. Good choice, but EGIdrA has a whole lot of units here. Bringing the Mutalisks into the back, trying to catch those Marines and Magic Box of Thors at the same time. Clide taking a lot of damage, just does not have enough units here. EGIdrA looking like he is going to be able to pull through. It looks like he has a lot of Broodlords up here flanking as well. These Marines taking huge amounts of damage. Right now the supply 118, 120 to 172. EGIdrA in the lead. Clide looks like he's just not going to have enough. The Broodlords are going to be able to whittle down too much. And GG. Clide surrenders. EGIdrA takes the game. And thank you for watching. That was actually a really good game.